On Osrc News at 7, Governor Akeredolu reiterates administration's commitment to advancing Ondo State's economy. Science and Technology Minister Olorunimbe Mamora lauds wife of Ondo State Governor on the More initiative. Vice President of Shimbajo receives commendation from United States counterpart over leadership role in climate change.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on Osrc News at 7. My name is Timileyin Faladi. Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu says his administration is committed to advancing every sector of the state's economy for overall development. Governor Akeredolu, who said all hands are on deck towards the completion of the egg factory at Emureile in our local government area, reassured residents of the state of his resolve to sustain every effort at making life better for them. According to the governor, the egg factory will promote the economic prosperity of Ondo State. Government House correspondent Wahaba Ankole reports that the governor joined sons and daughters of the town to celebrate Ajagbo, the New Yam Festival.
The palace of Elemure of Emureile in our local government area of Ondo State was spotlighted as eminent personalities, including top government functionaries, gathered for the 2022 Ajagbo New Yam Festival. The festival provided the platform for sons and daughters of the town to rekindle their bond as the chiefs and queens, one after the other, paid homage to the king. The Elemure of Emureile, Oba Simeon Adedubaje Adeyefa, thanked God for the success of the festival while appreciating Governor Akeredolu for the egg factory located in the town, noting that its positive impact will be massive.
Adúpẹ́ náà for èrò ọkàn èròǹgbà ọkàn èmúṣe nípa ọ̀nà wa ìfẹ́ lọ́sùn dàrí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bákan náà, adúpẹ́ fún ìgbéga tó mú wa ga.
Also, the Aloyin of Emureile, Chief Eniola Ajipe, thanked Governor Akeredolu for elevating the stool of Elemure to a first class. Governor Akeredolu, represented by Chief of Staff Olugbenga Ali, congratulated the monarch on the upgrading of his stool to Grade A. Akeredolu noted that the egg factory located in the town will promote the economic prosperity of the state when completed.
Gede ugbese yogbe àti dogbe muresoke nípa àwọn factory yo ṣe síbẹ̀ this egg powder factory. Mo fẹ́ mi yẹn ní fo fi láì jẹ́ fi opare o ní ko be o. Ujene ti lọ. That factory is going to be something that will be a pride to the people of Emure. Mo fẹ́ mo wo so yan fi ọ̀nà yo che Emure pátá àparí ẹ̀.
The governor reassured residents of his administration's commitment to sustain and improve efforts to further strengthen the security architecture of the state.
Láti ran àwọn elétò àbọ̀wọ́ àti sójà àtọlọ́pàá ohun tí wọ́n pa Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn. Ẹ̀gẹ́dẹ̀ fi jọ́nà ti gbé Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn dìde òun bẹ̀ sí yípadà Ondo State. Láìpẹ́ yìí àti àgbèrò sí i. Governor remoto okonwo Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn wọn konwo ó gbé ní sójà ó gbé ní police ó gbé ní SSS ó gbé ní civil defense, all of them we distributed 50 fitted vehicles, 50 vehicles fitted with security apparatus.
Akeredolu charged traditional rulers to join hands with government to curb crimes in their domains, which are promised not to politicize the state's development. from Emureile in Owo local government area of Ondo State, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
The Bimor Summer Boot Camp is not just a training ground to inculcate the spirit of self-reliance in young minds, but also a huge step towards attaining a progressive nation. Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who spoke at the closing ceremony of a 2-week intensive drilling of the youngsters, noted that the exposure of children to ICT and other scientific knowledge is a way forward for the Nigeria of everybody's dream. The closing ceremony for the 2022 edition was held at the auditorium of Federal University of Technology, Akure, Futa. In the meantime, the concept of the Bimor Empowerment Initiative of the wife of Ondo State Governor, Chief Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, has been described as resuscitation of hope for young girls in the country. Dignitaries at the closing ceremony of the 2022 Bimor Summer Boot Camp held at Futa Auditorium in Akure, the state capital, appreciated the brain behind the initiative for building the future of the country through the young girls. Gabet Towers correspondent Omoriola Hungbeji reports that 388 girls from across the state took part in this year's 2-week training. We'll take a quick break on the news tonight. Do stay with us. Glad to have you back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook, Osrc TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel, Osrc TV Ondo. The Nigerian Society of Engineers Akure branch has concluded activities to commemorate its 2022 Engineering Week. The annual week-long event, which featured activities such as health, outreach, public lecture on advancing engineering development, climaxed with a Thanksgiving service and dinner. Osrc Suhid Aribisala reports that Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu bagged an award from the Engineering Society for its landmark achievements.
This dinner and award night marks the conclusion of the 2022 Engineering Week of Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSC Akure branch. NSC National President Tasio Idario Wudil, represented by Dr. Rashid Babalola, commended the branch for shining among its peers.
We at the National, we recognize his contribution to development of engineers in Ondo State.
Speaking to the theme of the event, Oil and Oil Alternative Mix for Energy Sustainability in Developing Nation, Ondo State Commissioner for Energy, Mines and Mineral Resources, Razak Obe, harped on the need to accelerate exploration of natural gas and green hydrogen for Nigeria's sustainability.
Right now, oil and coal stand at about 80% of the global energy source are from coal and oil. So as time goes on, gas gives far less carbon dioxide than you get from oil.
Rewarding excellence and service was on display as Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, members of his cabinet, Commissioner for Agric and Forestry, Olayoto Aribo, and Special Advisor on Security, Adetunji Adeleye, bagged awards for distinguished service to Ondo State and humanity.
We'll be collaborating and we'll continue to collaborate. They are the people that will take us to where we are going, because we need all these little solutions to make life easy for our people.
The chairman, Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, Osrc Media Group, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, was also recognized for promotion of indigenous engineers.
Over the years, it has been our pleasure to promote engineering achievement, not only in Ondo State, but in the country as general.
Having steered the affairs of the branch in the last 2 years, the outgoing chairman, Ezekiel Olorutola, said professional development of members has been a major priority.
In Osrc, for instance, all engineering projects there are given to our professionals, engineers. This man will never, he will never allow other people to come in. He's using the engineers in the Osrc.
The coast of the Nigerian Society of Engineers was enlarged with the induction of new members. The week-long event had earlier featured health outreach, sports competition, among others. Members of the Nigeria Society of Engineers, Accra branch, returned praises to God with a special thanksgiving over the successful planning and execution of the 2022 edition of its annual week-long activities. The Mega Regional Overseer of Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministry, Southwest 4 Accra, Pastor Enojiason Irabo, was presented an award for contributing to the development of engineering. The professionals restated commitment towards building a better society. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Every day, life presents hopes, dreams, and challenges. Challenges that can become successes with a little help. Because a little help can empower you to go from despair to celebration. A little help can keep you going until the race is won. A little help can turn bundles of anxiety into a bundle of joy. And with Glow Data, you get much more than just a little help. You get the biggest data deals in town to make every day glow with small wins and big wins. Dial *777# to select your Glow Data plan.
Glad to have you back. You're still on to Osrc News at 7. No fewer than 32 persons have been abducted by gunmen suspected to be kidnappers around the Ifon area in Osrc local government area of the state. The victims were returning from a burial ceremony in Edo State. The kidnappers have not made contact with the victims' families. Ondo State Police spokesman Fumilayo Odunlami, who confirmed the abduction, said Amotekun operatives as well as the police and army had begun combing the forest to rescue the victims. Emergency responders have recovered 2 dead bodies from the rubble of a building that collapsed early today in Lagos State. Zonal Coordinator Southwest National Emergency Management Agency NEMA, Ibrahim Fariloye, who gave the update, said the 7-story building under construction collapsed at Lekki. He said operations were ongoing to rescue the remaining trapped persons under the rubble. Emergency responders at the scene include Nigerian Police Force, NEMA, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, State Fire Service, and Lagos State Building Control Agency. The APC Ghana chapter has inaugurated a Presidential Campaign Council (PCC) to lead its campaign in Ghana for the party's presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu in the 2023 presidential elections. Chairman of the APC in Ghana, Mr. Ogenosa Michelletti, announced this in a statement in Lagos. Mr. Michelletti said the committee was inaugurated in Ghana with a mandate to rally support of Nigerians and the international community for Tinubu ahead of the elections. Michelletti added that the Ghana chapter of the APC was ready to start a door-to-door campaign to Nigerians with known addresses in Ghana as soon as campaigns kicked off in Nigeria. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has begun taking steps to guarantee sanity and standards in Bureau operations in the nation's capital. This is in light of the public's growing concerns about the alleged involvement in financial crimes like money laundering, economic sabotage, and financial terrorism, among other things. Senior Special Assistant to the FCT Minister on Monitoring, Inspection and Enforcement, Comrade Ikaro Atta, made this revelation during a discussion with the Bureau de Change operators about strategies to clean up, standardize, and clear the operations of crime. Ikaro noted that the move was required in response to a letter from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission asking FCTA to bring sanity and global best practices to the activities in order to tackle criminal activities arising from the operations. He thanked the operators for supporting FCTA in a quest to battle graft and other real estate financial crime. The General Overseer of the Blood of Jesus Deliverance Church, Pastor Samuel Olofe, has enjoined Christian leaders to use the fourth pulpit as a means to propagating the gospel of love across the world. Pastor Olofe gave the charge at the 2022 National Convention of the Church held in Akure.
Home of the late Beatrice Omotosho played host to well-wishers who gathered to identify with the family of the deceased as her remains were lowered to Mother Earth. Thereafter, the ceremony moved to
We apologize for all that mix-up. Believers have been charged to live a life pleasing to God with the consciousness of rapture in mind. The charge was given during the burial Thanksgiving service for late Mrs. Beatrice Omotosho at Christ Apostolic Church, Okeigon, Akure. Joy Powers reports that the event had dignitaries from all walks of life in attendance.
Home of the late Beatrice Omotosho played host to well-wishers who gathered to identify with the family of the deceased as her remains were lowered to Mother Earth. Thereafter, the ceremony moved to the Christ Apostolic Church, Okeigon, Akure for Thanksgiving. The regional superintendent of the church, Pastor Daniel Edo, charged Christians to be Christ-like in their dealings while preparing for his second coming.
Of this, and yet I understand your death. Many of us we are not here.
Family members of the deceased described her as a strong woman who weathered the storm during her lifetime.
We all attended schools, even to university levels. Not all of us attended university level to university. The least is NC, and she did her best for us.
When I'm in a crossroads, I don't know where to cross. She always give me advice, and I always stick to advice. And all the advice have been very, very good to me. The advice has been beneficial to me. So, in fact, I miss her a lot.
She's a good person. She's a down-to-earth person, straightforward, honest, kind, and she took me like her own son.
She treats her children well. She's a very supportive mother, and she was there for all her children.
Adúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run pé wọ́n gbé ìgbé ayé rere. Wọ́n gbé ìgbé ayé rere. Ọmọ wọn ló dẹ̀yàn tó dẹ̀yànjú. Ọlọ́run á bá fọ̀run kẹ́ wọn.
Àwọn ọmọ wọn tún àwọn dáadáa.
and a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé kò sẹ́ni tó tọrọ jẹ nínú ọmọ wọn.
The late Mrs. Beatrice Omotosho was born in 1942 into the family of Akerele of Idiagba in Akure. Though without a formal education, she ventured into food selling business for about 2 decades. She was a member of Egbe Imole at CAC Okeigon and participated actively as a chorister until her passing. The late Beatrice Omotosho, who died on the 11th of June, is survived by children and grandchildren. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Now back to the story on Bimor closing ceremony. The concept of the Bimor Empowerment Initiative of the wife of Ondo State Governor, Chief Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, has been described as resuscitation of hope for young girls in the country. Dignitaries at the closing ceremony of 2022 Bimor Summer Boot Camp held at Futa Auditorium in Akure, the state capital, appreciated the brain behind the initiative for building the future of the country through the young girls. Government House correspondent Omoriola Hungbeji reports that 388 girls from across the state took part in this year's 2-week training.
Began in 2017 by the wife of Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, Bimor Empowerment Initiative is to reawaken the giant strides in girl child and to showcase the potentials inherent in women. So far, 2,000 girls have been trained in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and entrepreneurship and are doing well. Among them is Tolu Eimoson, a pioneer student of Bimor Camp, now a 300-level engineering student of the University of Lagos. She is currently leading her department thanks to the knowledge acquired at the Bimor Camp.
Currently, in my 300 level, for my 300 level project, I had to build an AC power generator.
Wow, you did? Great.
And I actively contributed because these were equipment that I've already worked with at the camp, so I was proficient at it. So the camp has helped me build myself. I can see myself doing things that I never thought I could do before the camp.
I called some of my friends together, explained things to them, and explained how this Bimor Summer Boot Camp works. I told them what they can benefit from it, and sincerely, everybody wants to come there. Everybody wants to be there.
Some other girls and I, ambassadors of Bimor, decided to have an ICT training outside the camp. So we had some girls, some were Bimor girls and some were not Bimor girls. So it was like further and
And now, the 5th set of this initiative were engaged for the past 2 weeks in ICT, where each of the children were handed a new Lenovo laptop to enhance their learning, solar energy, baking, tie and dye, and soap making. Their morning drills were constantly witnessed by the initiator, Mrs. Anyanwu Akeredolu, alongside other exercises to keep the girls fit.
After 2 weeks of extensive training on different skills at the Bimor Year 2022 Empowerment Program, organized by the wife of Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, these girls here are out to give back to society that made them.
This is the outcome of the 2-week training at the Summer Boot Camp as inspected by Mrs. Anyanwu Akeredolu and dignitaries at the event. Expressing gratitude for the support from stakeholders in making the dream a reality, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu said the girls were deliberately trained in different skills to face the future and to put an end to the world that wants them repressed.
I am releasing you to the world, my beloved girls. The world is a God in crisis, a world that wants you repressed and even silenced. But whenever the girls raise their heads, remember all that you were taught here. The boot camp has given you what many graduates out there are looking for: to hold up their heads in this season of severe economic stress.
Chairman on the occasion, Jimoh Ibrahim, described the governor's wife as a supportive and courageous mother who has given herself to humanity and enjoined the graduates to take their education very serious, especially what they learned during the training session.
To you, to whom what is given, what is expected, the graduates of today, you are the leaders of tomorrow. And Omi has started so much energy on you. In 2 weeks, you have achieved a lot. You are supported, materials are provided, and you are able to strive.
The girls promised to replicate the gesture in their respective communities.
I've learned graphic designing. I'm able to know more about solar, and I didn't know I would be able to get my laptop so this early.
I will teach them awareness about trafficking in my area. I will at least teach them how to bring solar panels.
With a curtain drawn on the 2022 BMO initiative, the total girls who have passed